out in front of the field. He won his second pole yesterday. Ty Gibbs brings it to the green flag. We're underway. And now rocketing down the front stretch into turn one. They all stay 2 by 2. Peeking out just a bit, there's Ross Chastain.
Yeah, a bit surprising. Very much more organized than we've seen here in the past. Maybe not so much in the back half, as now we see 3 wide trying to get figured out off of turn 1.
Everybody gets through that first turn, and now they head toward the tunnel turn. There's a tunnel underneath turn 2, and it is rough. Side by side for the lead still through turn 2.
Really nice job by the 54 and the 24. Pretty difficult to run 2 wide through turn 2. They did it successfully. Now we'll see if that 54 of Ty Gibbs can use that top lane to maybe carry the momentum down this extremely long front stretch, really the second longest, and he does. He clears the 24 and then swerves down to try to get away from that drag.
Not going to give the 24 any help. And so he clears the 24. And here comes Martin Truex Jr. A lot of people have had Martin Truex Jr. on the top of their list as far as favorites coming into this race.
He led every category I look at. When you look at 5-lap, 10-lap average, long run speed. I mean, he had everything you want out of your car in practice. But that was yesterday. We saw heavy rains this morning. We'll have watched the rubber off the racetrack. And just how much different will it be after the Xfinity Series race? So it always seems to be just a little different on Sunday. Right here we see Kyle Busch, remember, had to start in the back after mechanical issues on the 8th this morning. They repaired. A big moment off from turn 3. Let's ride on board and just watch this correction. And that was kind of late, but it's going to continue to hurt him all the way down the straightaway. Wow, big hit for Noah Gragson.
And it looks as though he backed into the wall, and so the first caution has come out. Off of turn 1.
He's running about 24th position.
Gets it fired back up again. Looks like he's going to try to drive it back in, but this is what happened.
Yeah, it just looks like he got too loose. Couldn't hold the back of the car, and see, that goes a little bit about what you were talking about getting the back of the car down. You want that car to be as low as it can be in the back, like you said. But what Joey Logano was saying is it's already hidden. You can't go lower. There you go, Larson. Oh, yeah, there you go. I was waiting for somebody to be the first one to make it 3 wide. I thought Larson was going to make a move to do it. That was a pretty calm restart.
Up the racetrack went the 24. Byron went up there. Also, the 4 of Josh Berry is up there. And now look at Martin Truex Jr. taking over the lead.
Barry has a problem. I don't know if he's got a tire down or what it is, but he's way off pace.
54 as well. Ty Gibbs just overcooked the entry. He got up there 3 wide. Take a look at the top of your screen. Just, I guess it was loose. Look a little wiggle, Jeff, maybe for the 54?
Yeah, just it's hard to tell there. It's hard to imagine that he went that far up the racetrack at that part of the racetrack without the back of the car being the problem. It was tame on the straightaway, but it wasn't tame when they got to the corner.
And now it's Denny Hamlin who's settled into second. Right behind him, Tyler Reddick.
Pit road will close next lap when the leader comes to the start finish. So on board with Brian Blaney, such a great view. Marty.
Look at the left-hand side of your screen. All those cars coming to pit road. Blaney pretty happy with his race car. A little bit better than practice yesterday. Just needs a little bit of rear grip. That's his only complaint, but just one number. Ty Gibbs pitting in front of you, Parker.
Right, Marty. He was the leader at the start of this race. Won the pole, fell back to 6th, came on the radio and just said, I'm super loose from that heat cycle on tires. So they decided to flip this stage, as you see here. 4-year tires full of fuel leads away.
Coming into this race, 2 playoff points for Martin Truex Jr. Now, as you had mentioned, he has about a 1-second lead over Denny Hamlin, and he is going to win stage 1 at Pocono. It's the 3rd stage win of 2024, so that means 1 more playoff point and his 3rd stage win at Pocono. As we see a good battle here between Logano and Brad Keselowski. Logano edges Keselowski right at the line.
And William Byron, you see pulled away there. They waited a little bit on fuel, so he'll come out maybe about 4th in line here. The cars that pitted here. Fuel strategy, big part of these pit stops.
3, small stack, now good rolling. Cab in front, tight to you, now tight in front. split mid. Don't let the 12 split mid. Still just 2 wide underneath you. Still there. Top of 3. Top of 3. So top of 3. Top of 3. Top of 3. 12 in line with you. Still top of 3.
So a couple names that are using a little different strategy here, running up front. Guys like Eric Jones, second place right now.
Yeah, so we still have to see the cycle, but I don't mind where these guys are at. They're going to pit one time, make it to the end of stage 2, give themselves an opportunity. And when you talk about a sleeper, look at his career numbers. 12 starts here. 8 of those 12s, he has finished inside the top 10. So when we talk about a tricky triangle and all the things that can go wrong, Jeff, you know, Eric Jones finding a way to consistently run well.
Yeah, a winner in the Cup Series, multiple-time winner. You know, over here with this team going to Toyota, it's going to take a little while for them to get up to speed. So they knew they had to get through this year. It would be difficult.
Oh, problem for Ross Chastain. And he's going to get into the wall. So the one of Chastain has had a problem. You see the right rear is wrinkled on that. It looks like that happened prior to this most recent run-in with the wall, but the caution has come out. It's the 3rd caution of the day. He was running 25th.
Like the right front, broke. Bring it back down pit road and take a look at it.
But, man, I think this is information I would give my driver to try to motivate him to manage this thing. That's a big shot for the one, Jeff.
Yeah, he was out of the groove when he came into the picture, obviously just sideways and trying to catch it.
That's turn 3.
Wow. That thing, he's turning the car, trying to save it, the right rear hooks the wall. When it does, it just slings the right front into it.
A lot of 2 tires and a lot of short fuelers here as Denny Hamlin will win the race off pit road.
Interesting kind of cat and mouse game happening at the front of the field. We have the 4 of Josh Berry last on pit road at 33. Hamlin at 55. Gibbs behind him at 27. As much as you want to lead, I do believe there's some advantage. The 4 and the 54 might need to find a couple laps of fuel savings. So if you do see the 4 get past, and I think the 54 is doing it behind the 11 now, using that draft to try to save a little gas, maybe reduce the number of shifts as well.
Yeah, Denny had been all over the back of the 4 car. Barry right there, you see how much center of the corner speed he's able to roll. Josh, just no defense of that. I think Josh smartly gives the spot up. He could have fought a little bit harder, but to Steve's point earlier, maybe a little bit of opportunity to save a little bit of fuel. And more battling on the racetrack. 77 car on the bottom of the racetrack of Hocevar. Oh, wow. That was Gilliland on the outside of him, and Hocevar just came up.
And these two have had some moments over the last 4 or 5 races.
Yeah, these are the things we talked about Hocevar earlier, about how, you know, he's a young driver, he's aggressive, but these are the things that when drivers talk about him, they don't speak favorably, right? And he's racing hard, man. He's a young kid. He's racing hard. He's doing all he can, but those are the things he needs to eliminate moving forward.
So it'd be very interesting to see where the 17 blends here. Now, he didn't wait on gas, which is a good decision, but I think he had lost enough time to the 11 that the crew chief was worried about losing a lap, right? If you have a little bit of a slow pit stop or don't get to pit road, great. So we're going to see the 11 of Denny Hamlin, top of the screen, exiting turn 3. We see the 17 leaving pit road, so he's going to have no problem at all. That's because they didn't wait on fuel.
Here's an interesting statistic. The 7-time winner, Hamlin, this is the first stage he's ever won at Pocono, and he wins stage 2. So Denny Hamlin grabbing another playoff point as Chase Elliott will finish second in stage 2. There's that 3 and 4 wide we were expecting as they come into turn 1. Very tight and close calls there.
That car on the outside is Todd Gilliland. He stayed out and only took 2 tires. He was running about 24th. He came out and restarted 9th.
Big block by Truex on Ryan Blaney, forcing him to the middle. That puts Truex on the bottom, and he's going to race Blaney into the corner.
Josh Berry's going to lose 2 spots there. He'll fall back to 4th, and he's going to lose 4th also now as Larson's looking to his inside.
Things are getting aggressive now. You can see nobody's giving anybody any room whatsoever. All the strategies Steve has talked about, it doesn't matter if you don't take advantage of these restarts.
So here you go, Buescher and Blaney. If you look at their pit time, Buescher has the lead because of an 8.8-second pit stop. Great work. Blaney, 12.6. That's not a bad stop. That's more fuel. So now with Blaney being 1.4 seconds behind Buescher, he's thinking, on pit road, I'm going to play a game of leapfrog, and I'm going to pass you. Now, I love Blaney. He'd love to drive up and pass him. But if you're this 12 team, you are thinking, man, I might be able to pass him on the pit stop as we see the 4 go really long in his box, Kim.
Really long. They're going to have to push him back. This is going to ruin what was a planned stop. There was no issue with Josh Berry. You can hear the collective sigh of just disappointment from Rodney Childers on the radio.
Caution has come out. It's Todd Gilliland who got into the wall. Not sure if it was a tire that went down or maybe a brake rotor. Let's listen.
Trying to get the car slowed down, and light tap of the wall here. Not a lot of damage from that, but what caused this? If a rotor exploded,
he just shifted and went across the start-finish line when we started hearing that.
Yeah, well, that, I mean, it's just obviously something in the right front. So if a rotor exploded, that would be the end of your day. It does so much damage.
A lot of 2-tire stops here, Rick, and a few teams gaining some spots, including Kyle Larson, who gains 4.
When you're trying to get a little too much on pit road, you get caught. And these 4 all got caught for speeding in the same section, section 7 on pit road, Steve.
Yeah, the 5 of Larson, the 9 of Elliott, the 54 of Gibbs, the 99 of Swartz. Let's take a look at pit road. You mentioned section 7. Well, it's the very small section just past the start-finish line, kind of right here. That is section 7. It's a very short section, and when they checked their tax earlier in the race, we heard that, hey, everybody was closer in that section. Sometimes it's the distance, the angle of the lines. It seemed like everybody had adapted okay. We've had a ton of pit stops. We've had a couple penalties. The 38 and another car got caught earlier. But now, Jeff, when everything was on the line, 4 guys get caught in that same section.
Big run by some of those cars in the back and around into the field. The 8 of Kyle Busch was the one who went down and came back up. Harrison Burton sliding down. It's very close there.
A lot of race cars
it's like Ryan
got caught up in this.
It looked as though the 8 was the one who was initially involved, the 16 of Allmendinger there.
Parker Kligerman and I talked about this before the race. This long straight and as wide as it is gives an opportunity to make it 3 wide, 4 wide, get real aggressive on the entry. The problem is the risk. Is it worth the risk? Because somebody's going to try to block you. Somebody's going to try to take that away from you. Then a block from LaJoie. LaJoie gets into him. Kyle Busch blocked him, and LaJoie just ran into him, to be honest with you. I'm not saying he meant to do it, but either a misjudgment. See right there, big block. Then he goes, and then LaJoie trying to get back on the racetrack. That yellow line.
We see him sliding right back in front of the field.
Yeah, all these guys just along for the ride.
3 and 4 wide going through turn 1 on this restart.
Oh no, back
up into the
back.
ball. And a couple get caught up. The 42 of John Hunter Nemechek. There's the 71. That's Zane Smith. They were trying to exit one.
I think no really big contact here. We didn't nose it into the inside.
It's actually a great view of that inside wall, Jeff. You know, at the beginning of the show, Rick, you and I talked about some of the huge wrecks here. We saw Elliott Sadler, one of the most famous on this backstretch. Pocono made huge improvements years ago of lining this entire inside, and why you think it's crazy because the wall's closer. You know, they don't get in the grass. We've seen cars get upside down, so a huge facility staying up to date.
We've seen barrel rolls on the backstretch here at Pocono. Blaney with the advantage. Bowman on the inside now of row 2. One slow going back. Looks like a tire going down. A lot of smoke coming out. Oh, It looks like the engine may have expired for the 54 of Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, it looked like smoke out of both sides of the pipe, so I think your analysis is right. Engine for the 54.
A few going down low, and the caution comes out.
Fluid on the back straightaway. Save what you can.
Yeah, I think that's a smart call right there. All that we were watching the oil and the water come out of the exhaust pipes, and there's only one place that can go. So you see Alex Bowman turning left, trying to get away from the side draft of that 11 car. Can he clear him? It's so close.
He's got the car in front of him, and Bowman clears the 11 of Hamlin. Now behind him, Logano trying to keep that 19 behind him. Martin Truex Jr. trying to get by. Here comes the 45. Reddick's going to give the 22 a little shove.
Brad was the last guy on. They all pitted at 117 together. A late break move right there by the 9. Brad took 4 tires. Jeff, you asked earlier about 2 tires and how it would pay off. You wonder if a little bit of this speed out of Brad isn't just those fresher left side tires.
Oh, that's it.
Well, he's going to slide up, though. Kind of overdrove the corner. Truex is going to go right back by.
Yeah, that's something that we see so often. You know, drivers that, you know, it's so hard to pass that they've learned that they can just overdrive their corner, slide up in front of the guy.
Comes Bubba Wallace now as he looks to the outside of Chase Elliott.
I kind of like that move right there. See if you can. He couldn't stay there.
He radioed to Chris Gabehart a moment ago, said the car's just too tight as I sit behind the 48. Gabehart said coyly, hey, don't worry about me. Don't talk to me, Rick. Focus on what you're doing, and he might get that spot from Bowman right here.
He's trying to take second away. He does it on the outside of the exit of turn 3, and now Hamlin is in second.
All right, now no mistakes. As a driver, that's what you focus on. Not about lap time. It's about not doing anything silly.
Fiance Gianna, and you can tell she's nervous. Deep breaths there as she watches down Long Pond straightaway for Ryan Blaney. Marty mentioned it. 11 career wins for Blaney.
Get home smooth and straight.
And through 3 for the final time. The driver of the 12 looking for win number 12. It's going to be the second time he'll see the checkered flag here at Pocono. Ryan Blaney wins again in 2024.
Fantastic work. Good job, Timmy. Good job, man. Hell yeah, boys. Let's go. Good job, driver. Good job, team. Proud of you guys.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.